why not? Like, I'm not the fittest runner, I'm not the fastest, but I think I'm resilient enough to get through it. The 10% rule just did not apply to what I wanted to do. I made the last cut off, I'm going to finish. There was 2 people left at the finish line where they were packing up, but I just broke down in tears crying because I was so relieved. We go through a massive pain barrier. We come out the other side feeling bloody amazing. Fucked up my knee. It's something I got to try. I've got to go in the mindset that I'm only stopping if I'm really injured. So that's become my identity. What we do does make a difference. People do watch.
Welcome back to the Adventure Athletes podcast. In this week's episode, I sit down with Nathan Walsh. Now, to most people, Nathan might seem like an ordinary guy, and in most ways he is. But in this episode, he shares how he went from watching Rhys Jenkins run the Welsh Coastal Path and having never run that far in his life, to then running 12 ultra marathons in 1 year. That's right, 12 ultra marathons in 1 year. That is absolutely incredible. He shares his story throughout the whole thing and what he's planning on doing next. Now, if you've been following Adventure Athletes, you'd know that we've just opened up 5 bespoke training slots for January onwards. If you want to be in a chance with signing up for one of these slots, you've got an adventure that you want to do, however big or small, let us know and I'll set up a free consultation with you. But for now, enjoy the podcast. First question from Stu is, how do you cope with mental fatigue?
I think you've got to surround yourself with people who you know can pick you up. I think quite often that if I'm feeling really low, I'll try and spend time with the family. Like, we'll go out and do something, or if it's coming to the weekend, who's going for a run, and just sort of I'll go join them just as a pick me up. And yeah, I think a lot of the time you just got to get out and just run with people who you know will just lift you. Because I know that if you try and deal with it yourself, you're knackered, you'll just go down a spiral and just get lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
So you just got to get out and surround yourself with decent people, I suppose.
Yeah. I heard from Rhys that when, it was the Pegasus Slam this year, he was saying that all the guys doing the slam made this incredible bond with each other, and you had your own WhatsApp group chat going on.
Still alive.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think this is where the power of social media, especially Instagram, has played a massive part in it.
Yeah.
Because the start of the year, Rhys was posting pictures of everyone who would sign up for the slam. So obviously you're gonna go to their accounts and follow them, and then you start noticing they're going for runs. Then you start chatting to them, so you're getting to know the people before you even get to the first race. And then during the races there, and you're running, and you're like, oh, that's so and so, but you know them as their Instagram handle, not their real name. So that was just odd.
I found that with Stu, actually, because I know him as Aubrey Coaching.
Yeah.
So I had to do some digging to know his name before he came on.
Yeah, so he was odd just seeing Instagram people that you knew running past you, and you get chatting and stuff. But then it grew into something a bit bigger than just running together. You find yourself looking for him at the start, looking for him at the finish, cheering him on, sharing pictures of him on social media. It just grew into a little family, I suppose. The last race, it was really odd because we'd finished and everyone was just hanging around because we're like, what do we do now? Because we knew that, because we're all from around South Wales and quite a distance apart, we thought we're not going to see each other possibly again. So we just hung around and just took it in. It was just odd. And it was like a holiday romance had just finished, and you were hugging people on, and you were quite sad. They're like, oh, am I ever going to see you again, sort of thing. It was just odd. But a lot of them signed up for the Espona now this year. So the WhatsApp group turned into the Espona group. So I know a lot of them are planning a run on Saturday, 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, nice.
Just to get used to sort of like running in the dark and running part of the routes, so going up Abergavenny. So yeah, it's still going.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Just like the connections you've built just from running together.
Yeah, because you're out there for 8, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but they see you at your worst, they see you at your best, and you just talk about absolute shit with them. So you get to know about their whole life, really. So it's a great way of bonding with people.
Yeah. The other question from Stu then is, what is the biggest lie you've told to justify a running purchase?
Ooh, I don't think I have. I've always been. No, I just said, well, I need them. Yeah, I need them. Biggest purchases, I suppose, are just shoes and your vest. But yeah, I don't think I've told one.
Are you quite a big spender when it comes to running gear?
No, I haven't even got a watch. No, I haven't got a running watch. I use it on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a watch.
So
yeah.
if anyone knows Nathan,
Garmin.
Christmas present.
Sunoto. Thank you. Yeah, but yeah, it's just shoes and vests really. But I just go out and get those when I need them.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. I'm not a big gear fanatic either. Like, I've got my Whoop. That's just general. Like, I love using it for training. I don't think it's the best for running. I think it's pretty pants for running when you compare it to like a Garmin, which is specifically made for running.
Yeah, it's the maps I need for running because I don't really care about like stats and stuff.
Yeah.
As long as I know like how far I'm going and time, and a map for races, and that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, like,
But
even my shoes are like just cheap shoes I run in.
well, I started buying like trail shoes when I first started trail running, and I was always buying 30-40 quid pairs, and they were lasting like 4 runs. Some of the places I was going, so I made the investment for Speedgoats, and I've just stuck with Speedgoats ever since because they last so long and they're so bloody comfy. So if anyone's starting, dig into your wallet and buy them straight away rather than just wasting shitloads of money on just normal trail shoes, which you can buy so like in any shop. Go to a specialist,
Yeah.
and just pay the money because they will last a lot longer than normal ones.
Is that the same with the running vests, do you think, or does that not matter as much?
It's a hard one because I've only had my Solomon vest for just over a year now, and it's all ripped and like around the pockets and stuff. The zips catching from where all the salt from your sweat is like blocked it. But I have used it a lot this year, so I don't really know because I did have a decathlon vest before that, and it worked. Pockets could have been a bit bigger, but they do better vests again for a bit more money. So vests, you can kind of get away with them buying like ones from Decathlon because they do the job. Yeah, so yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about buying a decent vest because as long as you got a pocket, water, and it fits okay, they're all the same.
Yeah. So shoes, the investment,
Shoes.
Everything else is a bonus, really.
Yeah, definitely shoes.
Right. Something I wanted to talk about with you is like your whole backstory with running, because you literally reached out to me last week because you saw Reese was coming on the podcast, and you was like, "What an inspirational guy! He's changed my life." I'll let you tell the story, but like just straight away, I was reading it and I was just blown away, and I was like, "That is a transformation."
Yeah, so 2017, I'd managed to do Cardiff Half Marathon, and that was the furthest distance I've ever done. But previous, I'd had a gait analysis done, and they suggested a shoe for me. It fucked up my knee. From where I'd had like 40 years of running a certain way with normal flat shoes, these shoes were meant to change my gait and improve my running technique, actually ruined my knee a bit. So after the marathon, half marathon, I had to take 2-3 years out where I just couldn't run without any pain in it. So went to CrossFit, Dragon Athlete down in Cardiff, where I just focus on functional stuff for my knees and my legs and stuff like that. And so I started to get back into running, but I didn't fancy running another half marathon or marathon. So then I started like watching YouTube, like trail running, and came across like ultra documentaries, and then I found one for Reese doing the Welsh Coastal Path. So I watched that and I was like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking inspirational. So I took on my first ultra then, 2021 in November. Booked it in April, so only had a couple of months to train for it. Managed to finish it. Hit the last cut-off time by a minute. But at that point, it was like, oh, I made the last cut-off, I'm going to finish. I actually come in last. It was the Gower Endurance Life one. And it was bloody miserable. Loads of sand, lots of elevation, lots of mud. I finished last, went over the finish line, and the finish line, it was dark. There was 2 people left at the finish line where they were packing up. I thought, oh, that's a bit bloody cold, isn't it? But I just broke down in tears crying because I was so relieved and happy. And then you just get hooked in because it's such an accomplishment. After that then, I signed up for Reese's one because I found out that he had his own running events, which was the Volgum in 2022. Managed to do that mid-pack. Then I thought, oh, do you know what? Next year I'm going to do the slam. So I signed up for the slam and finished all 6 of them this year, which was amazing. But in terms of my running, I haven't really been running a long time. I think in June 2 years ago, so 2021, my furthest run was 13 miles.
Yeah.
I just took a plunge and just said, right, I'm going to go out and really increase my distance, but just by running slow, jumping in an ice bath afterwards, and just keep going and going and going and building myself up. So yeah, the 10% rule just did not apply to what I wanted to do. I was like one day I was doing 12, then I moved up to 15, and then it was 18, and then I stayed at like 18 and a half, 20 miles on a run.
Yeah.
It was painful, but I got there in the end.
And then from that 2 years ago, you've now done 11 ultras this year.
Yeah.
That is a lot of ultras in 1 year.
Yeah, it is, but it sounds odd, but I don't think of it as being a lot. It's felt quite manageable. People have asked me, so like, oh, what sort of running have you done this year? And I just told them about the ultras, but then I told them my average mileage then, like weekly in between all the races, has only been about 18 miles. Because you're spending the year in taper and recovery between the slam. Then I finished the slam, and then I went straight into It's Why We Run down in St David's in October, which was over 5 days, which was an ultra a day for 5 days, which was just incredible. And during there then, someone made it say, oh, you can't finish at 11, you've got to make it 12. So I think, what's today? So in 2 weeks, on a Sunday, 3rd of December, I'm doing my 12th.
Yeah.
Which I'm just running around Pontcanna just to get 12 done. So I've invited loads of people down and just come and run with me at any point, and it's turned into a bigger thing than it is. Guys who ran with me in October, they've taken the same idea and they're doing it in Box Hill in Surrey, and also up in the Peak districts. There's someone even doing a little event in Australia because he's on holiday out there. So it's turned into this bigger thing than just me to finishing in my 12, just to raise a bit more money for Big Moose at the same time.
Yeah. You're quite a big believer in what Big Moose are doing, aren't you?
Yeah, so obviously they're partnered up with the Pegasus series this year, and that was my introduction to Big Moose. So over the year I started speaking to people who are working with them, and then the more I've got involved, I've started meeting the people who are actually in therapy, who have gone through therapy. So I can start seeing like the results of this charity, because a lot of people don't realise that when you put money into it, it's actually going straight back out into sort of like therapy and stuff. Normally you put into money in a charity, it goes abroad to somewhere, doesn't it? But because it was Cardiff based, I thought, oh yeah, interesting. Then the people you've met through running that have been involved on the therapy side of it and seeing how much it's helped them, I just thought it's a really good cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually see the results happening.
Yeah. And you're doing your event as a fundraiser for them now as well, aren't you?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure to include all donation links in the show notes as well, so
Awesome.
we can try and get a bit more money. This will actually come out after your event, so make sure you keep it open, get some extra cash in.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, awesome.
Cool. What specifically about Reese's story inspired you to want to take on ultra running?
It was someone putting themselves through that physical, well, and mental, just to go out and just run every day. It was just bonkers. And then the more I found out about Reese, and then I found out about his first ever ultra where he decided to run across America with his mates, I thought that's just nuts. And I just thought, as a Welshman as well, what a great way, what a great challenge to run around your home country. So I think that's why I've got to do it. It's just stayed with me, and it's an itch I need to scratch. And I've got the opportunity next year to do it, so I thought, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Like, I'm not the fittest runner, I'm not the fastest, but I think I'm resilient enough to get through it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Reese was saying. He's like, I'm not the richest, I'm not the strongest, I just stick with it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good runners this year pulling out of races. I just think, because I've never DNF'd yet. Because I always think, I got blisters, that'll heal. It's only a week of pain. Nothing's been too serious enough for me not to stop.
Yeah.
So I just think, I just like turn it in my head and think, right, okay, it's just going to be a longer day, that's all.
Yeah.
So yeah, just get it done.
How do you think you've sort of avoided injuries and DNFs with such a quick turnaround in the sport? Because everyone, like you said earlier, about 10% increase in your distance and all of that, but people still get injured. So how have you avoided it?
A lot of gym work. I spend about 3-4 times a week in the gym. Loads of back squats, sled pushes, stairmaster. So yeah, a lot of building up, strengthening your legs, and just doing everything you possibly can to prevent injury, really.
Yeah. So I had a strength and conditioning coach who specialises in runners on the other week. And one of the things I asked him was the top 5 exercises he would give to runners. So I'm going to ask you the same. What are your top 5 exercises?
Back squat, sled push. With the sled push, really slowly, and you're driving through your knees. But you also turn it into a sled pull, where you chuck a rope or band on it and you're pulling backwards. But again, you're driving through your knees rather than sort of like your legs, your top of your legs. I think glute bridges with a barbell or without, really good. And also a dead bug. Because a lot of people think the dead bug is all your core work. It's not. When you focus on the dead bug properly, the aim of the dead bug is when you're lying on your back to keep the arch of your back flat on the floor, and that is your focus. You're meant to be strengthening your lower back through it, not your abs. So when I've told people to do a dead bug in the past and they're like repping out, oh, that's easy, I said, okay, now focus on putting your back and keeping your back on the floor as you lower your legs. They're like, oh Jesus, that's really hard. So it's a really good exercise just to target your lower back muscles. A sandbag reverse lunge to again target all your hip flexors. you can build it up through various ways to make it really challenging or increase your reps. What else I do? 3-point extension over a kettlebell. So lying down, you're in like a boat, and your hands on the floor, and you're just raising your legs over the kettlebell. So you knock out loads of reps of that, and that'll really strengthen your back as well, and your abs.
Yeah. So on Instagram, I'm probably going to do a comparison between the two now, see similarities and
you'd be
differences.
surprised.
And then for someone, because like I've said before, like you've gone from not really running that much, having a big break, and then doing ultras. How would you get someone who's starting off, like what's your advice to them? They're listening to this podcast or Reese's podcast or watching the documentary, and they're like, I want to run ultras. Like, what's your advice to them?
Just sign up. Especially Reese's races with no cut-offs. You can just sign up, and then you're committed. Then find a local running group, because there is loads in South Wales who do road, they do trails. So sign up for them. Just go out for a run for them. A lot of them only run for an hour anyway. And then once you've got the hour sorted, a lot of them will like sprint off to do longer runs and everything. But you got people like Running Banks, CDF, She Runs Cardiff, Hengoid Harriers. So you've got loads of like running groups in the area who focus a lot on trails, because it's such a great way to like run.
Yeah.
It's more interesting than running on the road. It's more of a community feel. It's a bit like a CrossFit community, I suppose, where once we're trail running, that's it, we're in a cult. Yeah, everything's about running. It's just crazy. You realise like how little you need to be happy as well by doing it.
I think that's a very like relevant comparison that I've not heard before. Is like if you think of people that do weightlifting, it's very much you go in, you do your session, you get out. When you go to a CrossFit gym, it's like you go in, you have a chat, it's community feel, you're in a class. You don't just go in and do your workout and leave. You're there with everyone going through the same workout, and then you leave. And I think that's similar to running, road running. You go out, you hit all your target zones and paces and however you want to track your running, and then you go home and that's it. Whereas trail running, it's more like, no, let's get out, let's find this route. Don't care how fast you run because we're going up this massive hill now. So
yeah, we it's like CrossFit. They put them through themselves hell in a workout, and we kind of do the same in trail running and ultra running. We go through a massive like pain barrier, but we come out the other side feeling bloody amazing. You might ache for the next week, but you still feel great, and you have a chat and a laugh along the way. It's amazing.
So is that what you think the benefit is to doing ultras and signing up for these events, is just that community feel?
Community, and so like overcoming a personal challenge for yourself, making you a bit more resilient.
Yeah, amazing. So you've already mentioned it as well about your next challenge is going to be doing the Coastal Path. How has that come about, and how are you planning on doing it? Like, what's it in place?
So it's always been in sort of like the back of my head ever since watching Reese's documentary. And then in October, I was invited to It's Why We Run event in Pembroke. I thought, all right, this is along the coast. It's 5 days. If I can get through this, then I'll really consider doing the Welsh Coastal Path. And I managed to get through it quite unscathed. First day went out really quick, thinking I was only 30 miles, quite flattish. So when I cooked too quick, and it's like on the last couple of miles, I thought, why am I pushing so hard? Let's just soak it in. There's no cut-offs or anything. So I just eased right back, just took my time, enjoyed the views, and just got round every day in an okay-ish time as well. So I thought, yeah, I could do this every day. So every morning I was waking up aching, not much, various like stiffness around your legs, your calves and stuff. So I'd have a little stretch, get a rub down off the physios that were there, and then just go. But yeah, I thought that was the decider getting through that week in October.
Yeah.
So I did that. I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the next 2 months now doing a lot of gym work, strength work in the gym, and then I'll start building my mileage up for a couple of months. I plan on, I know it's stupid, but I plan on doing about 50 miles a day, but longer time on my feet than the previous guys have done it. Because I'm not going to be quicker than them if I run their pace, because I'm not the quickest and not the fastest. So I'll just be more resilient and try and get through each day longer, because I don't sleep a lot anyway. So I've got my parents coming up to support in my van and their van. My 10-year-old son's coming with me, and he actually wants to run at least 10k every day.
I was going to say, he's not running the whole thing with you, is
he wants to do at least 10k every day, which is nuts to think that he'll do like over 150k over 2 weeks. And yeah, just go. Yeah, no accommodation, just purely van all the way.
Just sleeping out the van, parents there to support.
Yeah, end every day then, dip in the sea, like a cold plunge, help with recovery. Because in my van I've actually got a king size mattress anyway, so it'd be like sleeping in a normal bed. My brother works down in Pembroke, so we'll stop off with him. But yeah, I just tend to like just go. I don't want any like luxuries or anything. It'll just be pure running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even thought about should I just every option I'm awake to just keep moving.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a tough couple of weeks, and then...
Yeah. I'm going to try and start with about 500 calories in the morning, at least for breakfast, and with my gels and salt tablets, and then just grab any food I can through the day as well.
Yeah.
And then make a point of, so like every evening then getting at least 2,500 calories in, just to help with recovery, carbs, bit of meat. That should help, yeah. But yeah, it's nuts. Nuts to think even talking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something I got to try.
No, it's gonna be incredible. Have you thought of adding on the Offa's Dyke Path to make it like a full loop almost?
I'd be lying if I said no. But yeah, I think my main goal is the Welsh Coastal Path.
Yeah.
I've got to get it back in Welsh hands. Yeah.
Fair play. I can't imagine what you're gonna put yourself through.
Yeah, but I've got to go in the mindset that I'm only stopping if I'm like really injured. I have to have the mindset of I will finish. I am going to do it, because if I don't, I'll give myself an easy buyout.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to be quite sort of like, I suppose, come across quite confident and I suppose almost like arrogant that I'm going to do it, I'm going to finish it. Because without it, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to suck, but oh well.
Yeah. Are you doing it for charity at all?
Yeah, I'm going to run for Big Moose again this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you looking at any brand sponsors, any fancy stuff like that you usually get at these events? Or
So Precision Hydration and Fuel have given me a massive discount on stuff. So I've got to actually arrange a video call to help work out what I'm going to need fueling wise over the course of the 2 weeks. But at the moment, just Precision Fuel and Hydration.
Yeah. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because it's quite a big jump from what you've already done. I know you've already done a massive jump going from half marathon to...
Yeah, but you got to think it's just one day at a time.
Yeah.
Just get through one day at a time and focus also like on that recovery on that day. Right, what's hurting? What can I do to resolve that?
Yeah.
Rather than like the whole thing, just one day at a time.
When are you aiming to do it?
End of July, August.
End of July.
So it's going to be warm.
Warm. Yeah, that's probably going to help. You don't want the torrential Welsh weather against you.
That doesn't bother me. It'll probably be a hindrance because you're sweating much. You'd be sweating a lot more. Body temperature will go up, heart rate will go up, so it might be a bit harder. But I'm hoping the Welsh weather kicks in and it's pissing down for the 2 weeks.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's quite a big undertaking, and you're just so blasé about it almost. It's just one day at a time, just keep moving.
Yeah, I think I need to be. I think I gotta be.
Yeah.
But like October, it was like 5 days, 160 miles. So I just think, well, what's an extra couple of miles on top of that? An extra couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think when we finished the 5 days, I thought, could I go for a run today on the 6th? I thought, yeah, I probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's amazing what your body can do. Because like on day 4, I was running and I just done 3 miles in 30 minutes flat on trails. Then I did another 2 miles in 10 minutes each. I thought, what the hell's going on? So I looked at my heart rate and it was literally just 85. And I thought, what the bloody hell? So I checked it for the whole day then, later in the night, and it didn't exceed 120 for the whole day, where I just found this little, I don't know, I don't know what, I can't explain it, because the body just felt like it was like, it accepted the fact that you were running and this is what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the best day in my life. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So something that's like coming across to me is something I've always thought is people that do these sorts of challenges have like gone through something, they've sort of hit rock bottom, and that sort of catalysed a change in them to want to go out and do stuff. But you just seem to have just been like, oh, I'm gonna do that now. Like, is there anything more to it?
I went through a lot of stress at work for 2 companies where managers were, for the different companies, were actually trained by each other. So they had the same sort of like principles, and they just didn't like me because I stood up for my own principles. So I went through a lot of crap with them. So I think when I'm running now, I just think to myself, I don't want to not finish, because I don't want people to see me not finish. Because when I finished that first ultra, I changed my Instagram handle to Nathan Runs Ultras. So that's become my identity. So now I use those to like fuel it, to say, right, I am fucking finishing these ultras. Because that is a massive driving factor, the fear of not finishing over just like, that's me done sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's more of a fear to me, not finishing.
How do you think you would cope with a DNF?
Depends on what it was for. Because I know that the only way I would DNF is if something's broken, or if something's broken. Because I've been sick on races, but I just can think, I'm just sick. I carry on, eat a bit more food, get my fluids down, I'll just keep going, I'll be fine by tomorrow. But yeah, but it's just breaks, or a bad sprain or something where you just physically cannot move.
Yeah. What about if you've missed a cut-off time?
It'd be gutting. I just think I'd be more frustrated in myself there for not like managing like my race better. Never really thought about it.
Don't plan on thinking about it too much.
No, don't make it an option.
No, I like it. I only asked because obviously you said you're going to finish everything, and a lot of the conversations I've been having recently have been around DNFs and coping with DNFs. So talking to someone that hasn't had one yet is like quite a different perspective. And it'll be interesting to see in the future that if you do have one and then you come back on the podcast, how the mindset changes.
Yeah, I think I always plan around not finishing. So all my training is like prevention. It's like, yeah, so I plan to fail, I suppose, so I don't.
Yeah. Plan for the worst, prepare for the best.
Yeah.
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 And then with the Welsh Coastal Path, what do you think is going to be the most difficult part about that?
I think,
Like, are you going to be annoyed if you don't get the known time? Are you going to call it, or are you going to
no.
keep going?
No, because I gotta be real. To get the fastest known time for me would be incredible. But I also know how hard that would be.
Yeah.
So my goal is just to finish it really. Set out to get the fastest known time, but then adjust each day just to be able to get to the finish. Fastest known time wouldn't bother me, but I'd plan to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just about getting it from A to B. That's the way I look at it. Is just finishing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'll be 47 next year. I'm a 47-year-old dad of 4 to finish the Welsh Coastal Path. I think it's just nuts. So
I mean, without any of that on top of it, it is just nuts.
it is. It's crazy, but I got to try.
Yeah.
I got to try because in October I'd had a week away from my family, picked up my boy from school, and the first thing he said to me, "Dad, can we go to the park run on Saturday?" So I just thought, oh Christ, I know that what I'm doing is like embedded something in him. So I knew it was worth it, and I need to try to instill that in my kids as well.
Yeah. I think that's something that is missing a lot these days. It's just that drive and desire to want to do more, which is why I think it's so sort of celebrated these days. Like when you do see people doing these incredible things, there's a massive shout about it. Like there's documentaries and everything, and it's just like that's what we can achieve as people. Like, why aren't more people doing it?
Yeah, you just gotta have the belief in yourself to get out and do it. Like it's gonna be scary, it's gonna be difficult, but gotta give it a go, haven't you?
Yeah.
Gotta give it a go.
What do you think? Because, like you were saying, you changed your Instagram handle and everything to be based around running. Who are you without running?
Dad of 4, Nathan, and that's it really. So I suppose, because I spoke a couple of weeks ago in Big Moof's life stories, and I touched on this subject that a lot of men like grow up, they play football on Saturday, maybe Sunday, rugby, and then our priorities change from football into our girlfriends, families, wives, and we lose all of that. So we tend to sort of like go into a shell a bit because we haven't got that outlet for a bit of banter with your mates. We haven't got the release. So like when you have a drink, you do open up to your mates a bit more, don't you? So I think you need some identity just for your own mental health and sort of like your own purpose, I suppose, because without it, you're just the dad, the provider and stuff like that. So it's really important for me to sort of like give myself these running challenges for a bit of direction and purpose for myself, I suppose.
Yeah. So it's just that, like you're saying, just that purpose, like it gives you something to focus on that's not just bills, providing for a family, all of that.
Yeah, because that if you just have that, it becomes quite stressful because you worry about everything. So you need something which takes you completely out of that life, just to give you a break from it, I suppose. And that's why ultra running is so good, because you're out there for a couple of hours, like a trainer run. Minimum training run now is an hour. I don't think that's long enough. And you're just out there, you're just completely thinking about sort of like your life, you process everything. So it's a great way of just de-stressing and like giving you a purpose, giving you a bit of a direction. So like, oh, how am I going to be better at my family as well at the same time? It's amazing.
Yeah. How do you balance the two?
So first of all, you've got to prioritise like what you do through the week with your family, and then look at like where can I get a run in. So I got to take the dogs out most days now, so I incorporate that now into an hour run with the dogs on the trails. So that helps, and then days off or get up really early in the morning, go for a run, or like I said earlier, arrange a night run with your mates. It's just bonkers. There's always time that you can plan outside of your family life if you're prepared to do it. If you're prepared to get up early, stay out late, and give up time, not sit in front of Netflix all day.
Yeah. What gets you through those longer runs? Like you said, your shortest run is an hour. Like, that's a lot of time just out on your feet.
It used to be music, but it kind of bores me now. So now it's just podcasts, because I think that when you start putting yourself through these stupid challenges and stupid races, distances, you've got to have a bit more knowledge about self-belief and stuff. So you start listening to podcasts around sort of like mental health, how to achieve stuff, resilience, even leadership stuff. So it takes you down a massive like rabbit hole of like podcasts of like bettering yourself as well. Then you start reading books like Compound Effect, Universe Has Your Back, How to Understand You in a Chimp, and stuff like that. So it's all ways of just bettering yourself and bettering sort of like you as a human being as well. And it's all come from sort of like just trail running. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So what would you say has been like the most influential podcasts to you then to help you get that mindset?
I think when I first started running, it has to be either Tony Robbins's Breakthrough, which was free at the time, but you got to pay for it now, and probably the Compound Effect, by making small little changes every day, which will generate massive changes in the future.
Yeah.
So I think it describes in the podcast and the book that if you took off from Gatwick and you went 1 degree out and you were flying to New York, by the time you get to America, you'd be so many miles away from your destination. And it's just stuff like that, where it might be only 1 degree, but it's a massive difference in hours, times and stuff. So yeah, making small little changes every day to have massive lasting effects.
Yeah.
So yeah, Compound Effect and Breakthrough. Breakthrough was more about like the positive mindset and stuff like that, but Breakthrough was about sort of like making the changes in your life.
Yeah. With the Compound Effect, one thing I've noticed with it as well, and I know a lot of people have spoken about this, but it does have like that knock-on effect with all the other little things as well. You do one little thing wrong, it's not that just that little deviation that you're saying. You do that one little thing wrong, then it makes you do something else wrong, and then it makes, it just expands exponentially.
Because you start noticing things in your life like, oh, why am I doing that? Oh, Christ. Oh, I'm eating that, but that's a lot of calories over the week. That's a lot of calories over the month. Oh, shit. That's why I'm putting on weight.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. It has a massive change, not just on sort of like your training and running, but just your normal life.
Yeah. I've noticed for me that if I'm not getting as much sleep as I feel I need, then when I get up in the morning, I don't want to get out of bed. So then when I do eventually get out of bed, I don't want to eat right because I just want to have something quick because I've got other things to do. And then it just, where I'm not eating right, then I don't eat right for the rest of the day, and then that affects how I feel, so then I'm not training as well as I should, and yeah, it just adds up so much, doesn't it?
Yeah. You've got to control your controllables, haven't you? Like getting sleep, even stuff like getting your kit out in the morning ready for in the evening ready for the run in the morning, just to get you out first thing in the morning and stop any prevent you from like not going out.
Yeah.
Don't put any barriers in the way for you not going out and training. But yeah, it's a lot of planning, a lot of like routine, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, say this time next year you'd have completed your run around Wales, potentially Offers Dyke as well. I'm throwing that out there.
Thanks.
Where do you go from there? What's afterwards?
Oh, God knows. I don't know. I messaged Reese this morning asking what's his bucket list.
Yeah.
That list he showed you, yeah.
Did he reply?
No, he just laughed.
Yeah, I got to have a good look at that. I'm not going to put anything out there.
But I don't know. I've always wanted to do the Dragon's Back.
Okay.
Because that's just another Welsh thing from like Conway Castle down to Cardiff, which is amazing, through the centre. So that'd be great. It'd be great if it'd be great when I finish the Welsh Coastal Path and then Dragon's Back, because I want to do that for my 50th. But I would have said that I run around Wales and I've also run through Wales.
Yeah.
I think there's a 3 Peaks Wales, 150 miles. Might have a go with that. I seen Lowry do it a couple of years ago. I thought, yeah, that's a nice one. 50 miles a day, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing the Welsh 3000s at all? Have you heard about that?
I have. Only this week, I think.
Yeah. So
Actually, no, it was like on your list, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, I might have a go at
So that's like a shorter distance, but elevation is pretty brutal. But with everything else you're doing, like you'd easily get it in the 24-hour time limit.
Yeah, I think I'm going down a rabbit hole now of so like you gotta go bigger and better, and it's just I think the guy who organised October, Lewis, he said that you got to use the momentum from your last run and turn into a purpose for your next one and create something bigger. So I think each run you got to sort of like think about that and think, well, what can I do bigger and better? What can I do bigger and better purpose-wise to have a great effect for more people as well? So I think I'll be doing like stupid things now for the next couple of years.
Where does it end though?
I
Because
don't
you
know. I don't know.
can't always get bigger.
No.
It's got to end somewhere, surely.
I'll Dragon's Back 50th, and then yeah.
Have a think from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you thought about doing one of those races where it's just a loop, but every hour you have to do that loop and seeing how far you can go? So it's not even a set
The
distance.
backyard ones, yeah.
Yeah.
I have thought about it, yeah. So I've got in December now, just gone. We'll do the Pontcanna loop for my 12th. So that'll be my first experience of a proper small loop for like 50k. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah, I have thought about creating my own events as well to take people from like the half marathon, 10k distance, all the way up into the ultras. And it'd be great. So like if that was ultra, would be the Volgum with Reese, because I think that Reese is sort of like changed my life so much and so like how I want to live it. It'd be great for me to get people to train and sort of like enter the Pegasus family, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an idea that I'm working on as well.
No. That just sounds incredible, to be fair. Like, your story really is just linked quite deeply to Reese, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he realises how much.
Yeah. I sent him, like, I asked you if I could share that
Yeah.
message he sent to me, and I shared it online, and I sent it to him. He just sent, like, a crying emoji. Like, yeah, I think he really felt that, so I'm sure he does, like, realise, maybe not how much, but he definitely realises that he's having an impact.
Yeah.
Because you don't always see it when you do these things. Like you were saying about the charities, when you fundraise for charities, you do all this work, put in the effort, getting money from people and doing these events and stuff, and then you don't really see where it goes.
No.
So then seeing it actually go out into the world.
Yeah, so like when I did the speeches for Big Moose and the life stories, I had a text off him the next day saying, as a result of your speech, 2 people have just signed up for therapy. And that was just from the night. And there was only 50 people in the room, so which I thought, oh my God, that was inspiring. So it was a shame it's not recorded and put onto YouTube with it, because it could probably just like get more people going to therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, what we do does make a difference. People do watch.
Yeah. Even if you don't know it.
Yeah.
Do you think that therapy is something that's needed a lot these days then? What are the benefits of therapy?
Yeah, I think therapy sort of like makes you more aware of yourself. So like more aware of your triggers and so like what's making you feel so crappy. Because I think, because the wife said, oh, years ago people didn't need therapy, they just got on with it. But then if you think back years ago to sort of like how many working men clubs were, there was pubs everywhere, so everyone go to the locals. So again, it takes you back to like the men having that community of other men to sort of like spend time with, and we don't get that now. And I think that's why men's mental health is so bad at the moment, because we don't have an outlet to sort of like vent to anyone, have a laugh with them, and just relax with them, because we put so much time into our family now. We can't go down the pub, because you go to the pub now, it's like £6 a pint.
Yeah.
You're breaking a bank and you feel guilty for spending that £6, and you're not going to have just 1 pint, do you? So yeah, you've got to think of that, and I just don't think men have got the outlet for like they used to in the past, I suppose.
Yeah. So for someone that's looking to make a difference to not just their life but to other people's lives, like what would your advice be to them? Like how could they do it?
If people are, a good way of spotting someone who's suffering is if they're posting on social media a lot. If they're just posting pictures of themselves or posting random things they're doing, most of the time they're probably suffering themselves and they want interaction with someone. So just send them a message, ask them how they are. Quite often, because I think of like everyone I've run with over the years, and like how they've described their own mental health to me and stuff. So every now and then I'll drop them a message, just, oh, how you doing? Everything okay? Just show someone that you're there for them, I suppose, and just, I think everyone's just got to be more encouraging people to open up and say how they are. Give them a safe space to do it.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. So thinking about everything we've spoken about today and everything you've been through in your life, what would be your one biggest piece of advice for the listener?
Be true to yourself and just do what you want to do. Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
I like it. Where can people find you online, and where can they follow your journey for the Welsh Coastal Path?
So Instagram is Nathan Runs Ultras, and I've got Linktree set up on my profile with like loads of links for Big Moose, my website for training and stuff, and also Reese's Pegasus stuff.
Nice. Well, thank you for taking the time to come on.
No problem at all.
And thank you for reaching out in the first place. Like, it's mental to think that just over a week ago, I had no idea about you and everything you're doing and your story, and now I got so inspired. I got you on the podcast to share it with others. And
what ultra are you signing up for next year? Come on.
Hopefully the Slam.
Nice.
I'm hoping. Not 100% yet, but
nice.
That's the goal. I've got a thing called the 12 Labours Project.
Yeah.
So it's 12 really hard challenges based on the story of I'm hoping to do it in less than 12 years. I've done 2 already. So I did a 50-mile barefoot walk and I did the Welsh 3000s. They were both part of that. So then next year, the one that I'm thinking of ticking off, I might change my mind, but this is the one that's been on my mind the most, which is what makes me want to do it, is a rope climb, where I climb up and down a 5-metre rope until I've matched the height of Everest.
Ooh.
Yeah, something. It's around like 1,850-ish rope climbs. So, yeah.
I'm just thinking blisters, your forearms are going to burst.
Yeah.
And what else is in this series?
So, not all of them are set. Some of them I keep changing my mind on. But there's one that I want to do, a marathon tyre flip. Like one of those massive track tyres, just flip it till I've done a marathon. Another marathon-based one is I want to balance on like a handrail back and forth till I've hit a marathon. I want to do the David Goggins 4:48 run challenge.
Yeah.
But after speaking with Stu on the last podcast, I think it might have been after the podcast, he was like, "No, that's not going to cut it. It needs to be harder than that." And I was like, oh, "What do you mean?" It was like, "That's going to be easy running 48 miles with everything else you're doing. Like, that's too easy. Make it harder."
Have you see? I actually think David Goggins is not that great. There's a Welsh woman. Have you heard of Larry Morgan?
I've heard the name floating about. No.
She's the presenter of the Dragon's Back.
Okay.
But she's just done loads of endurance stuff. She runs through the Amazon, and there's a video of her running that, and she's wading through water and like swamp and mangroves, and it's that deep with a backpack, and she's just so laser focused. She's not even concentrating on anyone else. She had an Arctic marathon run where she's pulling sleds through the Arctic, where organisers stopped her and said, "Larry, you've won. Everyone else has pulled out." And she was like, "What do you mean I've won? I haven't finished." And she's just carried on. And she's just mental.
Yeah. Oh.
Mental.
See if I can get her on the podcast, because that
Mental.
sounds insane.
Yeah. She's just unbelievable.
Yeah. What would be your suggestions for me for my challenges then? Thinking that the 4:48 is not hard enough. Because, like, Stu was very adamant that he's going to set me a challenge.
I did see one the other day. 1 mile every hour for, it's 24, 48 hours. That'd be hard. Because that would really be like no sleep whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the guy who did it, he made a point of like writing a list of tasks as well.
Bow miles, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that video. Absolutely
Yeah,
love
he
that.
completely changed his house and garden, didn't he?
And he did another one, because he's done it twice now, where he like built a boat or something. And I was just like, build a boat while also running a marathon in a day.
Yeah, that's been productive, isn't it?
Yeah. I love his videos. He's a massive inspiration to me as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking of actually doing the mile an hour thing over Christmas, just as a bit of a side quest. So potentially I'll be doing that.
Well, let me know if I got time off while I do it.
Nice. Look forward to it. Yeah, we'll give that a go, I think.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on.
No problem.
And yeah, I'll see you for that run.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Adventure Athletes podcast. If you like this episode, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Spotify and YouTube, and share our content around. It helps more than you can ever imagine. Now, if there's a person in particular that you want to hear from, or a topic that you want us to cover, just drop us a message, let us know in our DMs, and we'll make sure we try and reach out to the relevant people to cover that topic for you. We're always trying to make content that you guys want to listen to. We have just dropped our website. It's adventureathletes.co.uk, and you can go on there to find out the range of different services we offer. So we have sports massage, different training programs, and personal training, both online and in person, that you can sign up to on the website. So make sure you go and check us out at adventureathletes.co.uk.